Have you ever wondered if you could reuse potting mix? For me personally, potting mix has raised up about 15% since last year, and I'm paying roughly 25% more than I was paying just 2 years ago. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 methods on how to reuse potting mix to potentially save you hundreds of dollars from having to go out to the store and buy potting mix year after year after year. Let's get started. So what I have here is a 3-gallon pot where a Japanese maple died in it. This Japanese maple did not die from disease. I just neglected it. I forgot to water it and it died. Do not reuse potting mix where you think you may have had a pathogen in your soil. So something like Pythium or Rhizoctonium or Pseudomonas or any of those bad fungal wilts that can get on plants, don't reuse that potting mix. But if it's just something that you've had a mix sitting in a pot for a couple years, or you had a plant in it and you know, I just forgot to water this plant and that's why it died, you can definitely reuse the potting mix. So with this one, what you can do, just simply take out the dead plant, shake off the soil on it. So we got all the media off of it. Dump that in a wheelbarrow and then just go through and fluff it back out, because soil compaction is a thing, especially in containers. So we're going to aerate this soil a little bit and simply just put it right back into the pot. It's as simple as that. That is the most simplest way to reuse potting mix. Take out whatever was in it, fluff it back up, put it back in the pot. But there's some other things that we can do to enhance the nutrient availability to the plant when we go back to planting this pot. So let's take a look at those. So the second thing that we can do is add some sort of organic compost to our potting mix. Here I have mushroom compost. You could also use a product like brown cow, which is cow manure, or there's a product called organite, which is actually, for lack of a better term, well, it's exactly what it is. It's dehydrated people poop from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They dehydrate it into little pellets and they sell it as organic fertilizer. So all I'm going to do here, open the mushroom compost up, and I'm just going to add some to my existing potting mix. And all we want to do here is we're going to take a shovel and we're just going to turn this over so that we got a nice equal blend of mix here. Once I have that, we can take that and put it in this pot. Another thing we can do is add beneficial organisms to our media. I'm a firm believer in this. Like 25 years ago, I worked for Monrovia Growers as a sales rep. They were kind of ahead of the curve on doing this. Now pretty much all the nurseries are doing this. But this is Dr. Earth Pure Gold, and all this is really, it has beneficial fungus in it. It has mycorrhizae in it. It has some bacillus in it that are beneficial to plants. So mycorrhizae will form a symbiotic relationship with the plants. And essentially what happens is that fungus can take up things like nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium, provide it to the plant. The plant will provide sugars to the fungus in return, and the end result is you get beautiful, beautiful plants. But all you want to do is open this up, and just like we did with the mushroom compost, you can see here, this is just nothing but inoculum. We're going to take 2 or 3 handfuls here. Doesn't take a lot. And we're just going to incorporate it into the soil. Till it's a homogeneous blend. So what I'm going to be potting up today, this is a 1-gallon Orangiola Japanese maple. This is one that I grafted myself last year. And as you can see, it's a little root bound, so it needs a bigger home. So we're going to take our Orangiola and transplant it. I have all sorts of videos on Japanese maples. I have an entire playlist. I've got one how to graft, how to pot up, the whole 9 yards. So if you're interested in any of that, I do my best to leave a link on either side here to that playlist. But we're going to pot up this Japanese maple. Before I show you the very last thing that I like to do. So we aerated the old potting mix. We added a little bit of mushroom compost. We've added that Dr. Earth, which has the mycorrhizae in it. But there's one more thing that I really want to do just to top this off and make this pot just as healthy as possible for this Japanese maple. And that is going to be using Osmocote. So Osmocote is a slow release fertilizer. And I'm just going to give it a couple of shakes all the way around. And what that's going to do, that fertilizer is going to start at the top of the soil layer, and as I water over the days and the weeks and the months, it's going to work its way down through that soil. And that is some of the best potting mix that you can possibly ever have, is using that. Take your old potting mix, add some mushroom compost, add your mycorrhizae, add your Osmocote, and I promise you, you'll have great results. I have great results with this Japanese maple, have great results with all my pots in my yard. I do this all the time and it works great. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. Until next time, happy gardening.